Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video. I noticed this the other day and meant to talk about it because I find this one very interesting. And as usual, Screen Rant, I have to do the reader view because for some unknown reason their website is like, the ads just like take over the whole screen. You can't even read the article, whatever, doesn't matter. Star Wars explains why so many Order 66 survivors fell to the dark side. And this is one of my issues with Disney Star Wars, is the amount of Jedi that just sort of threw away everything that they've been raised to know in favor of the dark side. Like, I could understand you deciding to, not be a Jedi anymore. Just go about your business, go become a mechanic, or go work for whatever, Watto, who knows, right? I can understand that. But to just say, I'm going to not only not be a Jedi anymore, but I'm actually going to I'm going to work for the Empire? The people that just killed all my friends? I always found this to be really weird. I was totally okay with the Odd Inquisitor if they had been like highly manipulated and gone through a process, which of course we never see. Maybe you see it in Rebels, I'm not really sure, but we never really see that. I can totally understand that, and actually they do delve a little bit into that with the main antagonist of Jedi Fallen Order. What was she, the fifth sister or whatever? I can't remember her name. They did delve into that, so there was at least something there tangible where you'd say, okay, I can kind of see where she would go that route. But this idea that just all these Jedi are just like, I'm going dark, or it's just, why? And this whole idea that, like, I've heard people say this, they had to because the Empire was after them. How small is this galaxy? Honestly. Like, Obi-Wan went to a, formerly backwater planet in Tatooine that no one really knew about. Of course, now they've overused it to the point where everybody knows about it. But at the time, when George was writing it, no one was going to find Obi-Wan there. It's the middle of nowhere. No one even knows about it. Same with Yoda. Yoda found a place to hide. I don't, even Cal, right? In Disney canon, Cal is prominent, and yet he's still a Jedi. He's not just, he's hiding, but at the same time, he does come out and play once in a while, yada, yada, yada. But he's not like, there's Inquisitors after me. I guess I got to go dark now. And that's the part of it I never really understood. I've also never really found it compelling that all the Inquisitors were former Jedi, or most of them, or whatever. That doesn't make any sense either. It would make far more sense for them to be Darksiders who were manipulated by the Emperor and Darth Vader. So this whole idea of like, all these Jedi's gotta go dark. So anyways, this is why this article interests me. And so let's get into this here. One of the Jedi's lightsaber forms opened them to the dark side. And many Jedi survivors have used it. A lightsaber form? What? That's the explanation? Come on. Many Clone Wars era Jedi in Star Wars may have been more likely to fall to the dark side. After surviving Order 66, the Jedi Order was not certainly at its height during the Clone Wars. They were generals on the battlefield, warriors fighting the Confederacy, and a war engineered by Palpatine himself, their side's supposed leader. As stated by Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back, great warrior wars not make one great. Jedi are not supposed to be warriors, or rather keepers of the peace. Well, exactly, which makes, I grew up in the temple and I have a lifetime of Jedi experience and training, and I'm going to go to the dark side now within 6 months because I'm scared. Really? Order 66 was a horrific event and a landmark moment in Star Wars history. It marks the creation of the Empire and the dissolution of the Jedi Order, which had stood in some form for over 25,000 years. Without a structure, for the first time, the Jedi who survived the initial clone trooper kill order were sent on the run from Imperial forces like the deadly Jedi hunting Inquisitors. The remaining Jedi were constantly fighting when they were completely in hiding, terrified their true identity would be revealed, but being in this constant state of stress and having experienced such great trauma may have actually pushed Jedi closer to the dark side than ever before. Jedi are trained from birth to know how to channel the Force and use it for knowledge and defense. This includes telekinetic abilities, lightsaber dueling, and diplomatic skills, intended for use by all types of Jedi as representatives of the Republic. After Order 66, the Jedi had no choice but to stray from this training, as they were no longer protected by any sort of entity like the Republic or Order. I don't understand why that means you have to stray from that training. Like, if you're a Jedi Knight or a Jedi Master, what are you straying from? It doesn't even make any sense. In fact, Obi-Wan in A New Hope uses Force abilities that I'm willing to guess he probably hadn't used a Jedi mind trick in quite some time when he used it on the Stormtroopers, right?
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
So this is just all new made-up nonsense to justify how many Jedi there are alive, how many Jedi went dark. They were on the defensive and fought only for personal reasons if they didn't want to get caught. Virtually every Jedi trained skills became generally worthless as they were marked as criminals. Again, I disagree. If anything, Obi-Wan showed us that they're even more important because he needed to use those. If you're a fugitive, having the ability to do mind tricks and having the ability to fight and having the ability to know how to hide and having the ability to manipulate the Force would be extremely beneficial. I mean, think about Qui-Gon using the Force to spin the dice to get the deal he needed from Watto, all those types of things. That would be very important if you're a fugitive, I would think. They would be very valuable. So this is a very strange article. Okay, this wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. It became generally... Ironically, the Jedi just before Order 66 were trained heavily in combat, which was unorthodox up until that point, but gave them the few skills that would actually help them survive the reign of the Empire. Is that true, guys? Let me know in the comments section. Did they just all of a sudden start training more in combat than they did before? I mean, maybe, but they always did. I mean, let's face it. Yoda had all those kids in, what was it, Clone Wars or whatever, or Attack of the Clones, and they're all sitting around in that little training area, and they all have lightsabers, and all of them have their heads covered, and you're like, oh my gosh, one of them's going to cut one of their heads off. I mean, they were training with lightsabers as little kids, so did they really do more of that? Is this all just made up? Dueling technologies were sorted into different forms or styles of lightsaber combat by the Jedi. They range from defensive and aggressive to more pensive or passive. Survivors of Order 66 forced to abandon previous structure may have started using form number 7, also known as Juyo, which was very internally focused and aggressive, both things Order 66 survivors would need in combat. Why? Why would you need to be more aggressive if you're a fugitive than if you aren't? Like, you still have to know how to fight. And I mean, as a fugitive, you're actually probably trying to avoid fighting at any time. So again, this is a weird way to describe what they're doing. Juyo and its altered form Vapad, created by Form 7 user Mace Windu, channeled aggression and darker energies into lightsaber fighting. This opened up users to the dark side, and after Order 66, it could encourage them to fall, providing an explanation for dark Jedi like Baylan Skoll. So instead of blaming the individual, so instead of saying Baylan was a traitor to the Jedi, a traitor to those who raised him, a traitor to the Order, a selfish person, went for his own selfish stuff, we're going to blame a fighting style now? Really? Is that what we're doing? Like, it's the same way people are apologists for Anakin and Palpatine. It's like, no, Anakin was a piece of crap. He was a selfish piece of crap. That's why they didn't let him be on the council, or grant him rank of master. That's why, he made stupid mistakes, because he was selfish. He put himself above everybody else, other than Padme. But that was selfish too, because he wanted to be with Padme. So he was prepared to let a whole pile of people die for that. So that's just them being jerks and selfish. It has nothing to do with the fighting style. What is this? Another well-known Jedi practitioner from Form 7 was Jedi General Ram Koda, a founding member of the Rebel Alliance and Legends continuity and a survivor of Order 66, unafraid to fight the Empire aggressively. This shows that because of the Empire's oppressive reign and the lack of Jedi Order structure, survivors of Order 66 were more likely to slip into Form 7 usage, even if for their own benefit. But no matter what the intentions, using the dark side or one's aggression opens Force users to fall if they weren't careful. But who can be careful when they're being hunted for the crime of their own existence? This is absolute nonsense. Mace Windu used this form, apparently, and he didn't fall to the dark side. Okay, this is nonsense. The reality of it is, and I guess this article did not address what I was expecting it to address, so I'm going to address it myself anyway. Way too many Jedi fell to the dark side. What that shows you is that the Jedi Order was a joke. But then at the same time, if the Jedi Order was a joke, why did it last for 25,000 years? Why was it the Keeper of the Peace? Why were they had so much powerful positions for so long if they were a useless bunch of stupid idiots? It doesn't make sense. So saying that this many Jedi just decide, no, I'm going dark side now. I'm going to kill my fellow Jedi. I'm going to kill innocent people because of self-preservation, even though I've learned the complete opposite for my entire life for like 20, 30 years. I'm going the other way. Like, Baylan's got to be 55, 60 years old. So this whole thing is ridiculous. Why don't we just say the truth? There's too many of them. It doesn't make sense that a whole bunch of Jedi turned dark and abandoned everything that they ever learned. It doesn't make sense that they couldn't just go into hiding like so many other Jedi. The galaxy's a very, very big place, despite the fact that Disney has been shrinking it just exponentially since they took over. Now they have to make a whole new galaxy because they've shrunk it so bad. But there's no reason they couldn't go into hiding. It's really stupid. And thank God for a Jedi Fallen Order, because at least we get a glimpse into a normal Jedi who's like, well, this is bad. And he doesn't just run away like a coward little loser. He doesn't become a Baylan who abandons his entire belief system for his own selfishness because he's a jerk. Why can't we just say that either, guys? What is with our society? Why can't we just say certain people are pricks or certain people are selfish or shitty people? Why can't we just say that? Why do we have to do this? No, it wasn't because it wasn't his fault. It was the fighting style and because they felt threatened and they didn't know what to do. No, they're just crappy people that abandoned everything they ever were taught and believed in. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Always appreciate the viewership, so thanks a lot for watching. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Always helps the channel. Feel free to check out my other content, including my sequels reimagined on my channel. And thanks for listening, watching, and have a really good day.